We've had a driving rainstorm make its way through the plains, and it definitely is going to be a factor here this afternoon at Empower Field at Mile High in Denver. And off we go from Denver. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. A run for the first time with Bijan Robinson. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field, and that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. The Falcons ready to take over. Now Penix to the air right away. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Flushed out right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues. But Charles, in the past, a lot of people called this offense one-dimensional.
I think you did.
Well,
I think it was you.
I'll be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right, because we did have that discussion that what we've seen in the past from them, they needed to broaden, and they have done it here. Look at what he's bringing to their offense, and now as a defensive coordinator, you've got some extra work to do to prepare for him and their offense. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And complete to Drake London. On the move past the 40, and he gets this one down to the 24. That one good for 37 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
To the air, Penix. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Ray McLeod. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Falcons will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Those are the drives that prove a lot. You got a rookie quarterback, Charles. You're on the road, takes him down, throws the touchdown pass.
And in a game like this, with, as you described, a rookie quarterback, the team usually says, okay, we got to take care of this guy. We got to protect him. But when he goes out and plays like this on the first drive on the road, he doesn't have to say, I'm here to be your leader. They just need to follow him.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And Denver getting set to take the field. Here's Nix. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The rookie from Oregon on target with that one. It leads to a first down.
Usually in this spot, you'd hear an offensive coordinator saying, don't feel like you've got to get this all back at once. But here, they give up the opening touchdown and say, no time like the present to show what we can do too. And that's big yardage on their initial play from scrimmage.
Throwing Nix. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
2nd and 10. To throw is Nix. He'll get that complete to Vele. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The give is to McLaughlin, and I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Here we go on 4th down. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. At first glance, I wasn't sure he got it. Then I saw that spot. Definitely a first down.
It was, but boy, on the other side, you dispute it a little bit, wouldn't you? Okay, if you're playing defense, are you sure he got there? But that's why they tell you all the time, don't just get what you need, get a little bit more, and take the decision out of the hands of the officials.
Oh, there he needed a yard. He got a yard and maybe an inch. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And the Broncos are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
Well, Brandon, obviously no panic in them. They gave up the touchdown. You know, their defensive side did that. But he's already taken them back downfield. I love this field general that they've got. It's almost like he went to the defensive captain and said, don't worry about it. We've got you. Now they got 1st and goal.
Yeah, we're seeing punch, counter punch, and this could be setting the table for quite the game.
I like that. Let's go ahead and put it in the boxing ring, right? You're going to get hit sometimes. Can you respond and hit back? And they're trying to do exactly that.
It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
Now it's Nix. Flush to his right. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Bo Nix. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. But defensively, didn't seem like anybody had eyes on the quarterback, and he took advantage.
So you think that maybe we're seeing some pretty good instincts for a young guy? Because that's the thing you worry about coming out of college. You're used to getting away with just about anything you want to do. You're just superior. Here, he has to read it, figure it out, and know when it's time to go.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And looking to throw, Penix. Got a man, it's London. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. In motion goes McLeod. A play fake. Now Penix. Rolling to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
On 4th down, Bradley Pinion on to punt for the Falcons. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. 39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. So now the 2nd drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
Now a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Nix. Dancing. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. We always hear a lot of veterans on the defensive side of the football. They talk about smelling blood in the water, putting pressure on a rookie. They got to him there to force it free, but couldn't recover it.
And you mentioned the pressure. Rookie quarterback, you're going to bring more pressure at him at all times because you don't know how he's going to hold up. He was fortunate there. Luck was on his side, able to recover that fumble.
Not a great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. To throw, here's Nix. That's into the hands of McLaughlin. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, that run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
Looking to throw, Penix. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
They'll throw with Penix. He's got the hook up to McLeod. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone. And that flag accepted. On the counter, this is Robinson. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
Here now, 3rd and a yard. They'll run again here with Robinson. Nifty move. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the first quarter of play. 7-7, our score after 1. Second quarter now, Falcon football. As they've got it 2nd and 7. Here's Penix. And this will be caught by Mooney. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Falcons are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll run with Robinson. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Penix. Escaping the pressure right. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
In motion goes the tight end. They'll try and throw. Here's Penix. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
Fourth down, and the attention turns to Falcon kicker Younghoe Koo. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Koo knocks this one through the post. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And able to get this out to the 25. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Nix to the air. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. On the handoff, McLaughlin shedding the tackle. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Nix. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
2nd down and 4. Working out of the gun is Nix. And incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Nix. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Give him 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
Back to the air with Nix. And his pass incomplete.
It certainly looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 23 yards on the play.
But they've certainly not shied away from throwing the footballs. They've leaned on their quarterback to start this game. 4 straight passes right out of the gate, with that last one earning them a new set of downs.
Back to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Evan Ingram from a yard out. And the Broncos have taken the lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and the lead is now 14-10. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Looking deep here for Mooney. That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. It's a big play there for Atlanta. And even 40 yards.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And he'll find McLeod on the right side complete. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. They'll try to throw again. Here's Penix. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time. 3 here, not the worst thing in the world. Koo knocks this one through the posts, and the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in this second quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hole. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
14 yards that time for number 14.
That's a nice throw there, and he's obviously feeling pretty good because, remember, he had a touchdown pass on the last drive, and here he comes out throwing again, and they wind up getting good yardage and a first down right out of the gate.
Here's Nix. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Leonard Floyd, the old Georgia Bulldog, finding his way into the backfield.
The lessons will continue, but this rookie, he's got to learn how to read situations just a little bit better. That far behind the line, he's got to find a way to get rid of the football and not take the sack, whether it's with his legs or just throwing it away.
They'll run. It's McLaughlin. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
Naturally so. The defense was keyed in on everyone but the back on that play, and it took them an extra second to react when he got the carry. It's still a tough third down to pick up here, but a lot more manageable after an excellent carry on second down.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Operating from the gun, Nix. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line, well short of the first. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And it will be Falcon football. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Robinson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To the air, Penix. Over the middle, that's caught by McLeod. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. Does a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. They'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else. Ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Throwing again, Penix. Throw left side, there's London. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
And looking to throw, Penix. They're throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. Sets up the screen to Robinson. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. The Falcon passing game looking good on this drive as they get the first down.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Penix working out of the gun here. Looking for London on the out route complete. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 12 more yards there and another first down.
And that's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort, but instead he sets his guys up in excellent shape with a first and goal.
Robinson trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Only a yard that time, second and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so, and one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Third down and goal. This Denver defense trying to hold up for one more play. They'll throw with Penix. Eluding the pressure right. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Michael Penix, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. I'm pretty sure that was a passing play, but he took off pretty quickly and ran with it.
Love his decisiveness on it because you're exactly right. He was supposed to go back in the pocket and survey the field and throw the football. But when that hole opened, he just said, forget it, let's go. And boy, did that work out well.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Broncos going to get one more possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
To throw is Nix. He's going to air one out. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Now it's Nix. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sutton. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw, here's Nix. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Line of scrimmage moves from one 37-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. On play action, here's Nix. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And that cuts the lead down to just 3, 20-17. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Falcons going to get one more drive here in this first half. 1 second, all that remains. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Broncos are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And Charles, they trail here, though not really the fault of this offense.
No, they certainly did their part in the first half. But when you're in a shootout like this, you definitely want your defense to play better, but you know that's out of your control. All you can do, keep putting points on the scoreboard and keep giving your defense opportunities to make stops.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's exactly what you're looking for at the inside linebacker spot, versatility. He can drop into coverage, or as he did on that last play, use his speed to get to the perimeter and knock the ball carrier for a loss.
Throwing Nix. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Timing was just a bit off, and that can happen occasionally, even with these fine professionals in the NFL.
But on those out routes, that requires precision, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Everyone has to be in sync from the time the quarterback hits his back foot and delivers the ball to the receiver turning to find it.
Nix from the shotgun. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force the incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. They'll send the tight end in motion left. That's out quickly to London. So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the 29, here's 2nd down at 7. Here's Penix. Locates Mooney on the out route. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down. Third down and 6. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
They only need a yard here. Third down and 1 after the penalty.
Looking to throw, Penix.
That is caught, and he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Going old reliable there to the slot on third down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence, because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? You got to try to go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold them to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
Now Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts.
That'll give them 8 that time, and that will bring up third and 1.
They went to their big body tight end on second down in hopes that he could plow his way to a first down, but they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on third down.
Robinson up the middle.
And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done. And they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on third and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. They'll look to throw now on first down.
Checks this one down to Robinson.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They could probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
On third down, Robinson. And Robinson will not get there. Great defense at the point of attack. Going to stop him short of the first.
Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
And this will be a long field goal if the skies were clear, but here in the rain and the elements, they'll go for it on 4th. And they'll send the tight end in motion.
On the bootleg, it's Penix. Pass to the sideline and pulled in.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up, because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here.
A play fake. Now Penix.
He'll take a shot for the end zone.
And that's going to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw.
Complete to Mooney on the slant.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 24-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook. but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
To the air, Penix.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
To throw again is Penix.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now 3rd down and very long.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is...
Remember, he threw the pick on the last drive. This time he says, I'm not forcing one. I'm just getting it out of here.
And we'll see Younghoe Koo now for the Falcons.
From the left hash, this from 53 yards out.
Koo knocks this one through the posts.
And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6.
So it was a 3-point lead at halftime, and they double that with a field goal here.
And I think defensively, you've got to be okay with that because you've kept this game within a touchdown. Your hope is that you've inspired your offense to put a drive together, get in the end zone themselves, and hopefully get you the lead.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Denver's offense now set to go. Here's Nix.
Open man right side is Ingram. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
A carry from McLaughlin.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Here now a 3rd down and 8.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it.
Now the penalty, a big assist to this offense. Now it's 3rd and 3.
On the ground, here's McLaughlin. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 49 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Here's McLaughlin.
And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Off the play fake. Nix. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
Nix to the air. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now a handoff up the middle. It's McLaughlin, and he'll get this one down to about the 17. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Broncos are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
You want to put together a long drive? You've got to be able to convert on 3rd down, and they've done exactly that on this one. Sure enough, came up with another conversion right there.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. In motion left goes a tight end.
1st down, here's Estime.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Operating from the gun, here's Nix.
And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4.
They'll try and throw. Here's Nix.
Flushed out right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Bo Nix.
An 8-yard touchdown run.
And the Broncos are an extra point away from taking the lead here in the 4th.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
A very important extra point there, up and good, and they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Oh, that's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll throw with Penix. Here's a screen for Robinson.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
In motion goes McLeod. Now here's a fake on the jet sweep, and a give to Robinson. And this will be a Falcons first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
And looking to throw, Penix. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw here.
That's out wide here for Robinson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
They'll go play action here with Penix. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
On the give, here's Robinson.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellas, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. And I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball, and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
Sets up the screen to Robinson. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, his completion percentage continues to rise with that one, but sometimes you want your completion percentage to go down. Maybe you should have thought about throwing that one away.
I was just going to say, it is easier said than done, but that's where you maybe bury it at his feet, make sure he doesn't catch it.
Great call right there. Put it near the receiver, no grounding, nothing like that, but no one gets a chance to pick it off either.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Throwing Nix. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
The give is to McLaughlin. And he'll take this to about the 24, a gain of 3.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
The offense on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Now it's Nix.
And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fielded at the 33. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. He goes 67 yards on the punt return. And the Falcons have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
It's the 4th quarter, partner, and everyone's looking for a hero in the 4th quarter. They just found theirs.
Yeah, so much for the offense coming out, trying to mount that go-ahead drive. They get it right there on the punt return.
And a punt return play can change the momentum so many different ways and maybe put a team in command.
So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Set to take over, the Broncos offense trots back out. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
To throw is Nix.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
To throw, here's Nix. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Looking to throw, Penix. That's complete to Mooney.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
In motion goes McLeod.
On the toss, here's Robinson. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
One of the toughest things for an offensive lineman to learn is the ability to get in space and hit people who are moving targets. And linebackers are not easy ones to hit because they know how to move, juke, and make you miss. And that's exactly what he did on that play. A nice play for the defense.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 17 yards and a first down for Atlanta.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the fourth quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
In motion goes McLeod. Robinson with another carry.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players, but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium.
Touchdown, Falcons!
Kyle Pitts
From 10 yards out.
And the Falcons are able to build on to their fourth quarter lead.
They have to love seeing that from their young quarterback here in the fourth quarter, able to further that lead with a touchdown pass.
He didn't go turtle, did he? And you know what I mean by that. I had an old coach used to say all the time, hey, when we have a lead late, don't just tuck in and try and ride it out. Go out and play and extend the lead. And that's what he did.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40.
So the Broncos coming out now.
And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
2nd and 5. Finding room at midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Throw left side complete. That's McLaughlin. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
A great job there, and that old cliche, taking what the defense gives you comes right into play. Nothing too out of the ordinary about the throw. Just a little dump off over the middle. But what it is out of the ordinary is what he did with it after the catch. Not only did he grab the ball, but how about the significant yardage he picked up after he pulled it in?
Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you...
And it's caught on the deflection. And this is going to be a touchdown.
So on this drive, the rookie leads him into the end zone, Charles, and that helps cancel out the points that were created on the previous drive when he threw the interception.
Yeah, let's give some credit to this rookie because instead of hanging his head after his mistake leads to a touchdown, he comes back out and he's firing and made up for it right there. A well-executed series that helps reestablish some confidence in him to run this offense.
Lutz with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Well, the Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Penix. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Penix working out of the gun here. Locates Mooney on the out route.
Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
So the Broncos now down by 5. 1:45 to play. Needing to go pretty much the length of the football field as they have it 1st and 10. He's back to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
Back Back to throw.
That is caught by Vele.
What a big tackle there defensively.
One of the most difficult things for a defender to do, and think about the speed that he brought down. If he gets away, he's likely gone.
Well, the elements, the crowd, the situation, this is NFL football at its best. Here's third down.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And that's the downside of taking these big shots, because they're definitely lower percentage plays. And now you look up, and it's fourth down. So not only do you have to worry about getting big yardage, you also need to just keep the game alive.
Boy, hard to catch your breath. Another big play looming, 4th and 3.
They'll try and run for it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down.
Oh, that's a big pickup right there. That play might have saved them. Now they got to get up to the line of scrimmage quick. They've got to spike it.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10.
They'll look to throw.
A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
A little more than 40 seconds to play. Now 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here.
He'll look to throw.
That is caught
And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
This is 1st and 10. On play action, here's Nix.
Looking left sideline, incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Nix to the air.
And that one drops to the ground, incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds, 19 left.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Here's Nix. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time, because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. They'll go for it. Here's Nix.
And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call. Well, they got the ball already. They're not going to risk the yardage and running another 4th down. They decline it.
And what was that they taught you in law school, that possession is 9/10 of the law?
I didn't go to law school.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Well, I figure I'm going to give that to you anyway. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's 9/10 of this game too. Having the football counts.
You're so litigious. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons, and it's never easy to come into Denver to win. You think all you have to deal with the altitude, but they got the job done.
Well, there's a reason Olympic athletes train nearby. All right, they've got a terrific training center in Colorado Springs. You train at the altitude, the lungs expand, you go down to the regular, oh my goodness, they can go all day. And in fact, a lot of visiting teams, when you visit Denver, you know what's printed in your locker room? Welcome to the Mile High City. The air is rare. They get in your head that way.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.